Okay, Miriam and Solomon, could y'all start reading?
Okay.
Okay.
In the rainforest. In the rainforest. Look at the frog. A frog can hop. Look at the monkey. A monkey can swing. Look at the snake. A snake can slide. Look at the fish. A fish can swim. Look at the spider. A spider can climb. Look at the crocodile. A crocodile can walk. Look at the butterfly. A butterfly can fly. Look at the bat. A bat can fly too. The end.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Did you finish it, Solomon?
Yes.
Okay, then give us an overview of your book. And hold on, Patricia. Hey, Patricia.
Hello. How are you? She did an awesome job.
Look, I had to tell you, we got us a birthday girl on here. Solomon, she turned 7 today, so you can tell her happy birthday. The one that just got the reading.
Happy birthday, young lady. Keep
Thank
up the
you.
good work. Yeah.
Yeah, she had the book club reading on her birthday.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
dedication.
yes, it is. Okay, Solomon, give us an overview of your story.
So it's about animals in the rainforest.
Okay. Name some of the animals in the rainforest.
The crocodile, the frog, the monkey, and the snake, the fish.
Okay.
So what were they doing in the forest, in the rainforest?
And the butterfly and the bat.
What did you say they was doing in the rainforest?
They were looking for food.
Oh, looking for food. Okay, I got you. Okay, very good. Okay.
I'm going to be reading Little Owl's Night. Little Owl was having a wonderful night. He watched the funny possum family waddle along in a neat row. Hedgehog sniffed around the mushroom patch. Skunk was eating berries because he could not find any snail. By the river, beavers gnawed at trees. Turtle hid in her shell as fireflies danced all around. Little Owl visited his friend the raccoon as they sat in the clover. Frog rolled in and hovered just over him. Moths fluttered towards the moon, silver dust fell from their wings. Little Owl wanted to follow, but it was time to head home. On the way, Little Owl flew by a grumbly cave. Bear was inside, snoring up a storm. Wake up, Bear. Don't sleep all night, Little Owl sang. I want to show you the moon. But the bear kept snoring as usual. Little Owl flew home to his tree, gazing at the sky. He wondered if the bear had ever seen stars. Little Owl sat on his branch. How he loved the night forest. Frog croaked softly. Cricket chirped smartly. Little Owl heard rustling at the foot of his tree. Fox had come by to say hello. It was late now. The bats were gliding home. Mama, Little Owl whispered, tell me again how the night ends. The moon and stars faded to ghosts. Mama said spider webs turned to silver threads. Dewdrops sparkle on leaves and grass like tiny stars come down. Moonflowers close and morning glories open. The sky brightens from black to blue, blue to red, red to gold. The rooster crows, the crows call, and the day begins, said Mama. But Little Owl did not hear. He was fast asleep.
Was that it, Miriam?
Yes,
Your story was about an owl, right?
yes.
Sometimes when I'm sitting outside, there's an owl that perches on our light pole. What did you learn? Could you tell me something about an owl in terms of how they their behavior, what they do, what they eat? Did you learn that kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
They eat And mice and other kind of rodents that live in the forest, and they are nocturnal, which means they don't sleep at night. That's why the little owl is sleeping in the morning.
Oh, okay. That's why I see them at night. They don't sleep at night. They stay up all night and they sleep in the daytime.
Yeah.
And what's that word? You say
Nocturnal.
say that again.
Nocturnal.
Nocturnal. Learned a new word today. Thank you. Spell that. Spell that.
Nocturnal.
Awesome. You have some very good readers.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And look, Solomon, she started reading up when she was 5. She blew us away. She was reading books when she was 5. She just
That's
wanted just turned 7.
uh-huh.
They live in
Okay.
Tennessee. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you been doing
That's all
good, man.
right. Huh?
You been doing good. You look younger. You eating good over there.
Well, praise God. You looking well yourself.
Well, thank you. Okay, so
And I'm
Miriam,
enjoying the young ladies reading. That's awesome.
me too.
I
You
was
got
just
something to
thinking I
read? You
can't
got
wait until my grandson get big enough so he can be a reader.
uh-huh. Well, look, if you got something to read, you got 5 minutes too. I'm gonna take my 5 minutes.
Okay.
I'm reading
Well,
on
you go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, well, she gonna spell that word for us, and then I'm gonna go after her. And if you want to go, you can. And I'm not sure if Mary gonna have something to read today. I know she probably at work at the bookstore.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll find something to read.
Okay, good. Okay, so Solomon, you figured out how to spell it? I
She
mean,
spelled
Mary.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, you did spell it. Okay. I thought you was looking it up. Oh my goodness, it's my turn to read.
It is.
Okay, then I'm finna read. Look, Pat, I'm reading about Malcolm Little, boy who's going to be Malcolm X. I've been reading this for months, but it takes so long to finish a book when you get 5 minutes. Okay, so this is the page I'm on now.
Okay.
Malcolm Little, Malcolm X. Mm-hmm. On one summer day, as Malcolm tended to his lot in the garden, out of nowhere, a small flurry of color swept right through the air. As he stood up to wipe the August sweat from his forehead, Malcolm saw the colossal insect. It was every color of the rainbow, and it flew right by his cheek, as if to give him the tiniest kiss. Malcolm had never seen anything so pretty. Its paper wings forever winking at the world, its vibrant colors, each one more beautiful than the next. Do you see that beautiful butterfly, Malcolm? Louise asked her son as the breeze, insects, and flowers also seemed to stop in their tracks to listen to her speak. Well, believe it or not, there was a time when the butterfly thought of itself as ugly, frightened, and alone. It did not understand the value of its own little self. It had to learn about patience because it had no idea what the world would hold. It had to develop and mature and blossom. And now, look at it. It's beautiful, proud, smart, and free And I think it's some people on this call that are beautiful, proud, smart, and free in this Learnership Book Club. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Now this is Malcolm's mother Louise and two of his siblings. These are beautiful illustrations.
Are those illustrations are
Uh-huh.
okay, okay.
What Elisa Shabazz, I think she's the oldest child of Malcolm X, or one of the oldest. She and she wrote this book, and somebody named Ag Ford did the illustration. And I tell you what, they're really good too.
Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
good.
Louise always found the time to instill lessons of good morals and values, even while she was ironing, washing, cooking, fussing over all 7 of her children. While folding fresh laundry, Louise would also unfold a newspaper from another country for her children to read. Wow. Because remember, she could read different languages. We learned that a few months ago when I was reading about her. And a way to connect with the rest of humanity, brothers and sisters all across the globe. Even though the children went to school, she knew that the best education they would receive would begin at home. I gotta read that again. She knew the best education that her children would receive would begin at home.
Amen.
Yes. And that information was one of the greatest gifts she could give to them. She could bake biscuits while discussing philosophy, sweep the floor while reciting poetry, and teach math while pruning the garden. With one hand, she would tend to the linens, and in the other hand, she could hold an open book, and Malcolm and his siblings would listen on as she enthusiastically taught them one of the alphabets of the 5 different languages that she spoke fluently. Malcolm especially loved the sounds of the letters in French and hearing the elegant intonation of this sutrous language, words that to him always sounded like they were somehow dressed up. But most of all, these lessons and language taught young Malcolm that there was a whole wide world far beyond his noisy chickens and green peas. I'm gonna read one more page. Now this is, oh my goodness, this is the butterfly. That's a beautiful butterfly. And that's a color I've seen before. Many butterflies though. You see, Louise Little knew the real truth about words. She knew that they were more than just a jumble of letters, all lined up in perfect rows. She showed him the magic within words. She knew that each word was actually a powerful building block, a tiny gift of meaning that could bring ideals to life. She taught young Malcolm how to appreciate the dictionary. And I always thought that the dictionary came when he was in prison. But
I always thought that too.
I never knew that his mother was teaching him about the dictionary when he was a child and exposed him.
That would even explain his more intense interest in it while he was in prison. Yeah.
Yes. He learned the whole a dictionary when he was reforming himself. Yeah. Yeah, all of us know that story. In each volume, ideals and inspiration mingled like the savory flavors in a Spice Island stew that Malcolm couldn't wait to taste. Louise knew that words had the power to move people. Wow, that's so true. To make them laugh, cry, feel, and think. But most important, she knew that more words you learned, the better you could communicate and the more in life you could create. She firmly believed that knowledge acquired today would transfer form into wisdom tomorrow. So Solomon and Marianne, tell me what you learned from what I read today.
And that Malcolm's little, his mom taught them some of the things she knows while she's working because she knows that education is important, and she also knows that getting work is important. So she takes some time to do both of the things so that her children can learn, and so she can get some of her work done.
Awesome.
What about you, Solomon? What did you learn about the reading today on Malcolm Little, who became Malcolm X?
So the mom taught the kids. So the mom taught the kids. So the mom had time to work, but she also wanted her children to learn. So she gave some time for her to work and for her children to learn.
Okay.
Oh, very good, very good. Okay, so Pat, you have a book that you want to share with us?
Well, I just want to share some quotes because I wasn't prepared. I didn't know I was going to read today, but this
Okay,
is the book that I'll be sharing from.
okay,
These are quotes by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
okay.
And the ones I chose, I think, are kind of self-explanatory. The first one is, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? The second one is, the hope of a secure and livable world lies with disciplined nonconformists who are dedicated to justice, peace, and brotherhood. Also, sisterhood. The next one is, the good neighbor looks beyond the external accidents and discerns those inequalities that make all men human and therefore brothers and sisters. He spoke a lot about men that was in an era when they would just say men, but they meant women too. All labor that uplifts humanity has dignity and importance and should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. And one of my favorites is this one. If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. And the last one I'm going to read is, almost always, the creative, dedicated minority has made the world better. So,
Wow, those were some
okay.
great quotes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So Solomon and Mary Ann, I saw y'all nodding. Which one of the quotes resonated with you all?
I like the last one that about a man sweeping the streets.
Okay, okay.
Uh-huh. Have you ever heard that one before?
No.
Oh, wow. Read it again, Pat.
If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well.
Wow, that's wonderful. Then I'm reminded what Malcolm Little, Louise Little was saying how powerful words are. And that is a confirmation of the power of words through quotes. Thank you for that, Pat. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all for allowing me to share.
Yeah, we might count on you again because we're going to be here to 3:30.
Oh my goodness. I really thought it was only 30 minutes. My apologies.
Oh, no, we read together for 1 hour and a half once a month. The first Saturday of every month, we spend an hour and a half together reading.
Well, this is my first time actually joining, so yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're going to keep you too. Anytime you come one time, you're a member of the Learning Tree Book Club. Welcome and thank you.
Okay, I've been trying to get here, you know.
I know because she's a minister, you all. I should this is Pastor Patricia Williams. And Vicky, are you reading next?
Yeah, I'm gonna read a little bit. Excuse me, y'all, I'm being late.
That's hey, Vicky, I gotta tell you something. I gotta tell you something. Today is Solomon's 7th birthday. You got to tell her happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Also, too, as you can't see it right now, but as Meredith's mother calls us red skirts. But this is our sisterhood month. So we all participating in various activities given our you can't see my sisterhood shirt, but it's got Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, 1913. So this is our sisterhood month. So we celebrating.
All right.
Oh, y'all started 1913?
1913.
How many years ago was that? I can't add good.
It was 110 years ago.
Woo. Wow.
Wow, that's a long time.
I bet you Mary Ann could have added that up.
All right. I am going to do with a book that Meredith was involved with. It's called No Recipe Intended by Shirley Francis. And I was reading some of her poetry, and it says, and she was starting out as in the 1970s. Bitter bouts of agony to which I will not succumb keep coming back and plaguing me. Wonder, what have I done? Can the past be closing in on me now, making the future unclear? Is the time bound? So turbulent is the rules against the possible of ignore is it possible to ignore? It is likely to imagine pulling me back just to explore. Much farther can the past most farther than my past do go. Right sweep it seems with eyes wide open. Now I know the reason for my dreams. I know now for the reason of my dreams. I cannot remember when I was 2, 3, or 4, but my memories come from then to you. I will peace before. They are not all pleasant, and I doubt they ever are. Many are left feeling some whitened scar. When the time befalls us now, I raise to see through, knowing that on all others a different view. That will not be seen by myself, too weak to play, cause the end of each crisis. I am strong than I lost. I am stronger than I lost. And she has several, and this was one of the other poems is called The Winner. When the game is over and all the prayers and all the players tie, what will happen to me, Grandma? Would then I die? Grandma is wise, old, and already in her grave, smiled down upon me, and said, "No, you are saved." Often fear surrounds us, and turbulence fight. Will you come to my bed and comfort me good night? I will never, why I have never left your side, and I will never will. You are standing by my side, and time stood still. Every step you take, my dear, is not without me. While I was sitting next to you, and I was sitting next to you up in that tinyberry tree. Pardon me for my laugh, but Grandma, you're old to see. You are so old to see me climb up a tinyberry tree. What a sight to behold! There is no effort to it, and it shall bite my part. And it cannot bite on my part. You carried up in the ways there in your heart. When you are truly have someone peace with you, find they are in your eye. They are always in your heart, soul, and mind. Another one says the situation. I want to thank you, Mother, for helping me in my times of misery. You stood by me. You are right there, giving me every ounce of tender, loving care. A girl needs her husband. And a time is bad in a time like this. Yet somehow mothers still seem to forget. For me, you are like a bridge over troubled waters. I thank God that I am your daughter. At times when I was depressed, there you were with your gentleness. You gave me support, held my head high, and smiled at people when I wanted to cry. Now other people are very nice, and they covered me with good advice. I appreciate their kindness too, but I couldn't have made it without you.
Okay. Can you read No Recipe?
I'm reading no recipe intended. And I got one more here. It's called Insight. When you leave home and have a baby back there, although it is with your mother, people will say you don't care. But does it really matter to you what they say? Let them chitter and chatter. Your child will be proud of you someday. Stick to it. You might take a while, but think of it but say I can't even say, but stick it out and you shall smile and thank God for the happiness you bring your child. Yes, you can make it something often said, but if you never make an effort, you will never get ahead. The prize. You are just a baby, not even 2, and can't realize how much I love you. You won't even say no, won't even say hello to my mommy on the phone. I guess she is punishment for you being home, but you're not being home. While I'm around, you cry and yell. You look at me as if you want to say, go to hell. You are mean little man with whom I am blessed, because you are the one I love the most. You always say no when I say yes, and you think that your grandma is the very best. You have dimples in your cheeks and one in your chin. I chuckle at myself and watch you grin. You are the sweetest thing in the whole wide world. You are even sweeter than my baby girl. You are my heart, pride, and joy, my precious little baby boy. Scorned. You are a tiger, super bad. You are a man that a woman wish she had. Your intelligence drives a woman insane. You bring them happiness, never pain. But things you do make women feel good. You being Superman, I guess they should. Women say Jim is good, but you truly are better. How do you feel about the version of yourself? Say, how do you feel about this version of yourself? Version of yourself, fellow. Now, this is you are to me, a carrier of acute misery. That intelligence you drive a woman insane is nothing but an artificial brain. Things you do know, things you do when we are in bed, yet they make me lose my head. But then when it comes back to me, I really sink in again, and I am free. So you don't want anybody to know your mind, to blow your mind, but they can blow something. But how can they blow something that they can't find? And your heart, like a precious girl, nobody will want it. You are a big man with a small super ego. It's going to make it if you fall. If you don't, what is?
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Is
So
that a
what-
collection of poems? No recipe intended, a collection of poems?
Yes. Hey, Mary. But yes, this is a collection of poems, no recipe intended.
And short stories.
Oh, okay.
We published that one in January,
Yes.
I think. January.
Right. I had just received this book from her, and I thought about this. I said, well, we need to read these poems because they are stand to be read, and you could get a lot of information from it. And
Yeah,
it touched me. It touched me on a lot of emphasis, as if you can say, you never know. And all of this touches somebody in some aspect. So you do get something from all of these poems.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that, Vicky. Mary, are you reading today?
I can.
Oh, and I got to tell you this. Solid Ma turned 7 today, so you can tell her happy birthday.
Okay, I did put it in the chat box, but
Oh,
happy
you did?
birthday. I did. Happy
Okay.
birthday, Solomon. 7 years old,
Yeah.
7 years, been in this world 7 years, and very wise.
Yes. Oh, that's what you put in the, I see
No,
it now.
I just put happy birthday, but she is to be 7 years old and an exceptional reader.
Oh my God.
There's
Yeah.
a lot more to learn, but she knows a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
And Vicky, happy Sisterhood Day.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
That's why I was trying to show.
Yeah, that's
As
good.
you can see, I was trying to show.
Yes.
All righty, I like that. I like it.
Now, Mary, what y'all sorority do you belong? You don't belong to the same one. She's a Delta. What are you?
I'm an AKA.
Bless
Okay.
your heart.
Okay, we got a Delta and an AKA. All right.
We have 2 AKAs on.
Oh, your daughter's AKA too?
Rhonda's also an AKA. Yeah.
Okay, like mother, like daughter.
Right.
And I see, Mary,
I heard that.
you are really recuperating. You are bringing in. I got a niece and a sister-in-law that just joined y'all. See, y'all just stretching your hand all over.
Oh yeah, you come recruit them, Vicky?
Huh?
Yeah.
They went to the opposition, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can share a little bit about Shirley Chisholm. You know, March is Women History Month. So
Yes, it is.
spotlight a woman. So Shirley, I'm going to read just a little bit about Shirley. This is the book. I went, my video left on. All right, so this is the book.
You should meet Shirley Chisholm, okay.
Okay, so Shirley Chisholm made history. Says in 1968, Shirley Chisholm made history as the first African-American woman elected to Congress. And in 1972, she entered the Democratic presidential race, becoming the first African-American woman to do so. That same year, Shirley was voted one of the 10 most admired women in the world. And I'll read the introduction of the book. It's, have you ever dared to dream when people said you shouldn't even try? Have you fought for something you believed in? Maybe you have a secret dream or goal that you think is too impossible to ever achieve. If any of these are true of you, then you should meet Shirley Chisholm. Shirley Chisholm was the first African-American woman ever elected to Congress. She was also the first African-American person, male or female, to seek the nomination for President of the United States from either the Democratic or Republican Party. And these are the two major political parties in America. Shirley didn't win, but she opened the door for women and for African Americans who came after her. A lot of politicians wanted Shirley to stay out of public life, but she wouldn't. She famously said, "If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair." When she was asked why she ran for president, she answered, "Why not?" The video won't stay on. Why not dare to dream? Once you meet Shirley, you will be inspired to dare to dream too. So in chapter 1, it says Brooklyn and Barbados. Shirley Anita St. Hill was born in Brooklyn, New York on November the 30th, 1924. Her mother was from Barbados. Her father was a factory laborer from Guyana. Times were hard for the family, and Shirley's parents wanted the best for her and her two younger sisters. When Shirley was 3 years old, they made the decision to bring the girls to Barbados. Shirley and her sisters lived on a farm with their grandmother while their parents struggled to earn a living in Brooklyn. Shirley missed her parents, but she later said, "Granny gave me strength, dignity, and love. I learned from an early age that I was somebody." Shirley went to school in a one-room schoolhouse. It was a strict school, but she learned to read and write easily. After school each day, she and her sisters did chores on the farm. They collected eggs from the chickens and ducks and fed the cows, sheep, and goats. Shirley learned to take pride in her work on the farm. When their chores were done, the girls also played and swam at the island beaches. About 7 years later, Shirley left the peaceful island for the busy streets of Brooklyn. It was the Great Depression, a time when many people struggled to find work, but Shirley's parents wanted their children with them. Her father worked in a factory and a bakery. Her mother was a seamstress and cleaned other people's houses. They were poor, but they were together. In school, Shirley was placed in a lower grade because she hadn't been taught American history in Barbados. She started to cause trouble in class. It wasn't long before her teachers realized she was bored and should be in a higher grade. From then on, she was a great student. And I can stop. I'm not going to be able to finish the book. Let me read one more page. Shirley's father loved to read. He read the newspapers every day and was always reading books. He inspired Shirley to love reading too. He talked about politics at the dinner table and encouraged his daughters to be interested in government. Her mother wanted all the girls to go to college. Shirley graduated from Brooklyn Girls High School in 1942. Her grades earned her scholarships to top colleges. But those scholarships didn't pay for room and board. She decided to live at home and go to Brooklyn College. So it kind of, this book affirms that you can do what you want to do, follow your dreams, and that your parents are your first and best teachers. So I just read chapter 1. So,
So her parents were immigrants from Barbados.
yes.
Were they educated?
Well, yes. No, they were not. They were, it did say that her father worked in a factory and a bakery. Her mother was a seamstress and cleaned other people's houses. So they were regular, everyday, hardworking parents who were very, who were educated in their own way. They taught their children what they knew and inspired them to go further. Shirley was a smart girl, ahead of her time. She was very bored in school, and when her teacher found out she was bored, then she did better because the teacher realized that she was smart and was
Started
just
off in a
bored.
one-room. Started off in a one-room school.
Yeah, yes,
Was she in Brooklyn or in Barbados?
in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah. They had one-room schools in New York. That's interesting.
Mhm.
What year was she born?
What year was Shirley born?
Uh-huh.
Was
I
it
don't, I'm not
19?
su- What did it say? Did I miss that part?
I think I heard 1924.
Okay,
Really?
could have. That sounds about right.
Okay.
I don't remember. She graduated from Brooklyn High School in 1942. So,
Oh. Okay, I see.
mhm.
She probably was older than Martin Luther King or somewhere close by. Some sure.
Yeah, I'd put her in that category, but it doesn't say exactly, and I didn't look it up.
Okay. Okay, anybody have any questions or comments about the story she read about Shirley Chisholm? The L, are you reading today? Since this is Women's History Month, I want to acknowledge
I'm
Mary
okay.
Hardy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary. I'm gonna pass today since I came in late. 'Cause we
Okay,
ain't
okay,
got 4 more minutes. Yes.
okay. Y'all
Mm.
want to acknowledge Mary Hardy as for Women's History Month as the owner of a bookstore in the Mississippi Delta, the Book Gallery. She's only Black-owned independent bookstore in the Mississippi Delta. If you ever in Greenville, stop by, or you can buy books online too. Her website is on Shopairs / Book Gallery. I put it in the chat. Okay, so we got 30 minutes left. So Marianne and Solomon, do you have a second story to read?
I'll go check.
Okay. But I'm gonna read a few pages from Malcolm Literature. So where they go get that book? I'm gonna read one page. You got something already, Marianne? Okay. What's the name of it? I'm gonna write in the chat. Oh, Tanya,
It's called As an Oak Tree Grows.
okay.
On a sunny late summer day, a young boy planted an acorn in the ground. Later that year, an oak tree sprouted up from the earth into the air in light. Each fall, it would shed its leaves, and each spring, new ones would grow. The boy grew up and moved away. Farmers now lived there. They cleared the hillsides where forests once stood. The wood was used for building and to burn in fireplaces. But the oak tree was left standing. The oak tree had learned to spread wide and grew upward and outward. Sometimes snow was very heavy and a branch would break off. As the oak tree grew, everyone and everything was on the move. Children grew. Some stayed to work on farms and others left to work in factories. Ships came and went. Large engines rumbled along steel rails. Birds perched in the oak tree to rest from long migrations. Some stayed and made new homes, and others flew on. More people arrived and built new houses and buildings. Some years a little rain fell. Hills and fields were dry, where trees had once stood and shaded the ground from the sun's rays. The oak tree's roots reached far underground for water as its leaves wilted. Farmers conserved what little they had for thirsty livestock until the rain fell again. Electricity came through wires that were strung over hills and through valleys. It powered street lamps and homes. The land twinkled with lights as stars faded in the night sky. The oak tree grew slowly and steadily, while all around it life spread fast. People rode in cars to go to work and visit friends to go shopping, or just for a drive. Soon the air was filled with jet, contrails, and radio rain. and sound waves were beeping cars, barking dogs, zooming motorboats, whistling trains, and music. The oak tree is 200 years old. It has shed its leaves and grown to new ones every year. Animals, birds, and insects have made homes in its folds and holes and branches. The oak tree, with its strong roots, trunk, and limbs, has survived many storms over its lifetime. Now a fog rolls in and a big storm is on its way. The storm is powerful and the oak tree is split in two. It does not survive the storm. People came to look where the great oak tree once stood. The tree was cut into pieces to be used for furniture, firewood, and mulch. A new day dawns once again. The ground is warm and welcoming as a new oak tree grows.
Okay, your story's about oak trees. Now we have 3 oak trees in the backyard, and what I know about them is that they grow really, really tall. When we moved here 20 some years ago, one was very short, and now it's really, really tall.
Yeah, we
And I
also
don't know much about them besides that. What do you tell me something about them that I don't know besides that they get tall? Uh-oh.
up from acorns.
Say that again, Marianne.
When someone plants an acorn into
No, I
so
didn't
it's
understand. Say it again.
oak trees sprout from acorns. If you plant an acorn, it will turn into an oak tree.
See. Wow. Okay, what else?
Oak trees do not only grow from acorns, they also drop acorns that make more oak trees.
Oh, oh my goodness. Is there another adult on here that knew that? Because I sure didn't. Okay, so what else? What else, Marianne? Marianne, I think you're frozen.
Tree
Okay, go ahead. What did you know something about it, Mary?
Well, yes, Yeah, I grew up with oak trees. But I know that they produce, the acorns fall and the acorns, you can plant the acorns and they will grow more trees. They are excellent shade trees. And growing up, we made clothes. We made skirts and vests and belts from the oak tree leaves. But I didn't know this, that there is an oil that is made from the acorns. During the time of the year when there are lots of acorns falling, there are people that pick those acorns up and sell them. And yet sometimes it's like, I don't know, they get $1 a pound. And there's an oil that's made from them. And I didn't know that until I moved to the Delta. So yes, they are very valuable trees.
Oh my God. Wow. You learn something all the time. And the fourth grader taught me that an acorn, use an acorn to plant an oak tree. And I
Right,
got 3 in the backyard. I'm glad to know that now.
yeah.
That's all this time. Wow. And I think we lost Mary Ann and them. I guess they had a big. Oh, they coming back.
They're coming back.
Uh-huh. Wow. So Solomon, did you find a book? Well, until they come back. I was gonna read some of Miss Mary's book. And some of you may already remember or know. Mary Harrison Coleman was the first Black licensed barber in the state of Mississippi in 1960. And since it's Women's History Month, I was going to mention her. And also, she created a school of barbering, and she's now 88. And she sold the school to one of her former students here in Jackson, and they moved the facility to the VA hospital on Woodrow Wilson. I can't even think of the name of the school of barbering that she created.
What was her name, Meredith? I'm sorry.
Mary Harrison Coleman
Mary Harrison Coleman.
from Scott County.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And she's 88 now.
Yes. Yes, and she was born in 1933. So I'm gonna read the first 2 pages of her memoir called Mary's Story and Song. Also, she created a gospel group, the Angelettes, over 50 some years ago. And she was married for 68 years.
Successful lady.
She traveled all over the country with the gospel group. Yeah. Okay. One of the things that I learned from her was that in her oral history, her family during slavery times were the white slave person who bought their entire family. He bought 2 families, and they walked a while and they rode on the wagon a while, and he took them from Virginia to Mississippi, and that was the first time I ever heard of someone buying several entire families, because they used to be so break the families up, but that's a part of her oral history, and she put it in the book Mary's Story and Song. And his name was Hitch Harrison, who bought the 2 families from Virginia to Scott County, Mississippi. There's a lot of hills in Scott County, Mississippi. Okay, so this is a picture of her mother, Luella. And Mary was 5 years old when her mother died. Okay, so this is chapter 1, my beginning, the early years. I was born in 1933 in Harperville, Scott County, Mississippi, during the Great Depression. I lived with my stepfather, Wiley, my mother, Luella, and my 7 siblings, Macy, Lean, Everline, Bessie, Lizzie, Laura, Floyd Henry. I'm sorry, I missed. One was named Macy Lean, and the other one was named Everline. Have y'all ever heard a name like that, Miriam?
Evelyn.
Those are old names, Macy Lean and Everline, huh? You have?
Yeah. Our mailbox has a last name that says Lee. I don't know why.
What's the name of it? What did you say about your
Lee.
mailbox? Okay, I didn't hear. Okay. Okay, so, and her brother, Floyd Henry, they called him Bud. Everybody heard of that, Bud, a nickname. And Fanny was the younger sister. I don't remember much about my mother since I was only 5 years old when she was called home at age 39 in 1938. I distinctly remember Mama was a very beautiful lady with naturally straight, long hair. I often stood behind her at night and helped roll her hair on strips of brown paper. Have you ever seen that, Miriam? When I was a child, my grandmother, who was born in 1905, she taught me how to do it. We would take a brown paper bag and break it off,
Yeah,
twist it, and tie
yeah,
it around the hair like that.
yeah.
And
That's
roll
how my
our hair.
mama taught. That's how my mama taught me to curl my hair. That's how I first learned to curl my hair. She said, "Go in there and get you a brown paper bag." We cut it into strips and took the hair, and she said, and it was the best curls ever. It's the best curls you'll ever get.
Yes, it is. It's better than those pink foam
Oh
curls because it holds
yeah,
so good. That's amazing. All the good things that we used to do, we gotten away from the
yeah,
tradition. But when
yeah. Because I was
say that,
amazed.
yeah, paper bag,
Yep.
yeah. Because so often, we get used to whatever's in the popular culture.
Mhm.
And when I was young, it was popular culture to buy the pink foam rollers rather than the inexpensive one. Just get a paper bag.
Yeah,
Back
and I'm
then,
sure that's
go ahead.
why my mama showed me that. Well, I'm sure I was probably begging for some pink rolls, and she said, "We're not going to buy no pink rolls. You go in there and get you a brown paper bag."
I
That
thought
kind
that's
That dates me.
huh?
Well,
That dates me.
Oh yeah.
It dates me.
And she needed no pressing comb or hot curl. Wow, she has some good hair. By age 5,
Y'all don't know anything about that. That pressing current, we used to call it hot combing.
yeah, you just call a hot comb, didn't it?
Yeah, we got that.
Going to get my hair hot comb.
Don't get my hair hot comb.
Lord have mercy. By age 5, Mama was ill and weak most of the time. So her sister and Virgie took me home with her often. When Mama died, I was in Carthage, Mississippi with Aunt Virgie. A family friend picked us up and took us to my sister Betsy's home in Harperville, where my family was living. Upon our arrival, Mama's body was still in the bed. Due to my young age, I didn't have a clear understanding of death. I was more afraid of seeing a dead body than anything because I was reluctant to go in to see Mama. I was picked up and carried into her room. Not many emotions ran through me as I viewed Mama's lifeless body. I was just too young to understand I would not see her again. While looking at Mama bewildered, I noticed someone placed quarters over her eyes. I asked why, and I was shushed out of the room. However, years later, I was told that was how they closed people's eyes when they died with them open. Though I can't recall many of the events following Mama's death, I do remember being bused to the funeral in the white children's school bus. After the funeral, we were brought back home. There was food for everyone. Later that day, Aunt Virgie took me back to Carthage. This is the only remembrance I have of my mother. Aunt Virgie was an awesome lady who always looked out for Mama's youngest children, me, Lola, Bud, and Fanny. Daddy didn't remarry. Aunt Virgie played a big role in our lives. From time to time, she took one of us home with her and bought us clothes and shoes. She kept whoever she took for a few months at her house. Then she started all over again. We took turns living with her until we were old enough to help ourselves. So when her sister died, she started taking her sister's children home with her, buying them clothes and shoes, letting them live with her for a few months, and then sending them back to their father, who was a sharecropper. And they also lived a lot with each other, the father and the younger children with the older children who had their own small houses on the sharecropper's land. But anyway, it's a very interesting story, marriage story and song. So, are there any questions about what I read? So we got 10 minutes left. Solomon, did you have something to read?
Yes.
My no day.
No.
All right.
Yesterday, and Bob was crawling around my room, looking my jewelry. So I shall get out of my room. And that was the start of. Then I came downstairs and I saw that egg. I cried and said, I can't eat that. And Bobby said, you should eat. You could eat it last week. Look at Bob, he's eating smashed bananas. After that after the terrible egg, he didn't like I didn't like my shoes neither, so I and then when we had to and then we had to go shopping. and Mommy said, please stop wiggling, Bella. But I couldn't stop wiggling, and in the end, I shouted, get me out. Mommy said, yeah, Bob, and Bob poked me and said, you. At lunch, Sarah and her
Not
mommy
Mark.
came
Yesterday, you just Mark yesterday.
to play and to have some peanut butter and grapes and a cookie, but my cookie broke. Then I couldn't play nicely, and I keep saying, no, you can't. And in the end, Sarah and her mommy went home. In the afternoon, it was my ballet lesson. I said ballet is too itchy. It was very loud. Miss Carla stopped playing the piano and Miss Lou, Miss Lewis, oh dear, perhaps you should sit in the corner then. On the way home, we met. On the way home, we met the lady who lived next door, and she said that Bob was the sweetest thing she seen all all day. And then she said, "How is Bella?" I was long way behind. I please stop. Then it was time for my super supper and my nap. But those peas were too hot, and our bath was too cold. And I was too wet, and it was too minty. After I roamed and roamed, after that I roamed and said, no bed, no, 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 bed, no, no. And mommy said, well, I think someone needs to go to bed. But I roamed all over my room, and then I roamed to Bob's room, and I said, bed is for babies. And then I yawned, and they don't yawn. Then I crawled into my room, and Mommy said, and I said nobody. But she came into my anyways, and we. I yawned again, and I said very quietly, "Today was a very bad day, Mommy. Sorry." And then she kissed me good night and sometime. But perhaps you will be more cheerful tomorrow. And I I was cheerful all day long. The end.
Solomon, can you tell me who was the key characters in your story?
So the characters was Bob, the mom, and Bella.
Okay. Tell us some of the points about these characters. What were some of the key things that happened in the story?
So Bella was okay. So Bob was having a headache from Bella, and Bella made Bob and Bob have a headache, and Bob keep disturbing Bella.
Hold a picture of Bach up. Hold a picture of Bach up. Hold it up so I can see it. Which one is Bach? Oh, so Bach was a baby. Okay. Somebody would tell me to get out the room. Well, thank you for that. And thank you for reading with us on your very special birthday. And I hope you have the rest of the day is just great, great, great. Well, we come to an end, you guys. And I always enjoy reading with you all once a month. This is the best 1.5 hours that I spend all month is with you all. And thank you so much. And we'll see you all next month. But we trying to get y'all in the spelling bee the Saturday after Thanksgiving extra pants. There's a spelling bee and there's a cash prize for the winners. But let us know so you can get the words. And it's all on Zoom. There's a list for first grade and fourth grade that you study. We give you the list because the fourth grade list is longer than the first. Miss Mary, can you tell them a little bit about the spelling bee?
Well, yes, the spelling bee is held for the combination Jackson Book Festival and the Delta Book Festival, and it's the day after Thanksgiving. The word list should be out online on either Facebook, or you can Google the fourth grade spelling list, and it's very similar to the Deutsch spelling list. It is extensive, but the words are not difficult to learn to spell.
Yes.
And yes.
Oh, go ahead, Mary.
If you, and of course, if you're interested, just email me and I can email, if you email me, I can email them to you. But if you Google them on Facebook, they're there also.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You should join us.
Yes, it sure is. Yes. Uh-huh. Well, okay, you guys let us know if you're interested and if your parents will let you do it. Let us know next month.
And because if you let us know next month, we'll make sure we get you the list.
Have plenty of time to study.
Yes. Oh, they shaking their head. Okay, then. Well, all right. Well, we'll see you guys later. And happy reading.
All right. Thank you, Meredith.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
Y'all next
you.
time.
Bye-bye.
Okay, see y'all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.